So let's talk about one of the most disgusting lies in President Donald Trump's whole law and order cosplay. The idea that he is some kind of heroic warrior against human trafficking. I mean, already, I could just sum up this entire segment before even going into the details by pointing out that he let a notorious trafficker, alleged trafficker, Andrew Tate in the country and is now protecting him. Yeah, that's just one example, all right? Look, we got receipts on this, and they're bad. Now, remember all the speeches, the rallies, and the whole thing about, well, we're going to go after the traffickers. We're going to go after the worst of the worst. Nobody's ever done more than me. All that nonsense. Well, under Trump, actual human trafficking and child exploitation arrests went down. Not a little. It went down a lot. According to federal data, ICE's own data, during a stretch of his administration, arrests for child exploitation and human trafficking dropped by 28%, down to a 5-year low. Yeah, let me say that again for the people in the back, waving their Save the Children signs. While Trump is talking about trafficking and how he's, I'm so tough on traffickers, his government is doing less to actually stop traffickers. Because instead of using ICE and federal agents to go after them, he repurposed them into helping with mass deportations. That's right. ICE is told, hey, stop focusing so much on trafficking, on stopping that. No. Stop focusing on investigations and just arrest as many brown people as we can. Again, they have an arrest quota, around 3,000 a day. Not 3,000 traffickers, but just 3,000 people that we can throw into prisons and kick out of the country. And then we can lie about them once they're gone. So whatever. Again, who did that affect? Not the coyotes, not the trafficker rings, not child predators. Oh no. But regular people. A massive chunk of the people who have been arrested by ICE, around 69 to 73% of them, had no criminal convictions whatsoever. 40% had no criminal charges at all. None of them. None. Their big crime was simply existing in the United States without the correct paperwork. So instead of using these agents to infiltrate trafficking networks, rescue victims, build complex cases against them, the stuff that they're supposed to do, Trump's people instead took these agents and said, no, you're going to grab nonviolent immigrants so that we can brag about our numbers on Fox News, so that Stephen Miller can, feel good about himself by getting these, massive numbers of arrests, which, by the way, is still not hitting the 3,000 because there's just not that many criminal immigrants in this country to begin with. But it gets worse. Oh, it always gets worse. The State Department team that handles international trafficking, the people who are actually supposed to work with other countries to break up these global trafficking networks, under Trump, that operation has been gutted. At one point, they were reportedly down to about a third of their previous staffing. Imagine bragging about saving the children while you are literally defunding the people whose job it is to, try to do that. Look, this is a whole Trump playbook in one story. You scream about evil, okay, a real evil, and then pretend like you're the only one who's fighting against it. And by the way, that all your political enemies are part of that evil. The pedo Democrats and Hollywood and all the traffickers and something about the blood of children, QAnon, blah, blah, blah. Scream about that while actually not doing anything. In fact, what you're doing is the opposite. You're using this as a branding exercise. And of course, a right wing, they love it. They swallow this hook, line, and sinker, everybody. QAnon. It was actually convinced that Trump was secretly liberating millions of children from underground, whatever, basements or pizza places, whatever. While in the real world, actual trafficking and enforcement was being deprioritized so that ICE could chase gardeners and dishwashers around and arrest them to get their quotas. Whatever happened to going after the worst of the worst? They were never interested in that. Because if they did, they'd actually look in the White House. But no, what they're doing is weaponizing law enforcement against the most powerless people while letting the actual criminals slip through the cracks. And not only that, but also welcoming other criminals into the country, alleged criminals like Andrew Tate and his brother. And look, this is the part that really matters going forward, okay? Trump's doing mass deportation. That's the reality of the situation. He's using the federal government to do ethnic cleansing while claiming that, I'm protecting the children. I'm fighting against the traffickers. In reality, they're not focused on crime. They're focused on doing cruelty. Cruelty for cruelty's sake, all right? So next time you hear a MAGA politician or a pundit say something stupid, okay, which happens a lot, something like, you don't understand, Donald Trump is fighting the traffickers, so he's the toughest president ever to go after human trafficking. No! You can actually respond with reality. Not that it will do any good, because these people won't listen to you anyway, but okay. What happened is trafficking and child exploitation arrests fell under Trump. So it's just not true. While ICE is being pushed to hit daily arrest numbers by going after non-criminal immigrants, and the people whose job it is to actually fight against traffickers got sidelined and their departments stripped down. That ain't law and order, folks. That's not protecting the kids. That's protecting and helping the actual traffickers. If this video helped you cut through the BS and see what is really happening, then smash that like button. Every single like pushes back against the right-wing propaganda machine. I can't do this work without your support. So please check out my Patreon. Link is in the description of this video. For a few bucks a month, you can help keep this channel independent from corporate BS. So hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's keep fighting for democracy and against fascism together.